Hi and welcome. My name is Harry Fritsch and today it's all about WooCommerce and if you should use WooCommerce as e-commerce platform. Well, that really depends. I would recommend WooCommerce for smaller stores actually, but it's really hard to say because it all depends on your strategy. It all depends on your future goals. It's probably not a very wise decision if you know you're gonna grow very fast, if you know you're gonna get into different global countries, if you know you're gonna need different shipping methods, if you know you're gonna need special payment methods and all that stuff. Of course you can program everything to WooCommerce, but the issue is really WooCommerce is not really a shop system. I mean it's a system in itself, but actually it's WordPress and then there's WooCommerce as extension basically. So it's different than to have like a Shopify or Magento, because the main purpose of Shopify or Magento is to be a shop system. And of course the main purpose of WooCommerce is to be a shop system, but you always need WordPress. And that makes it sometimes very hard to handle. First of all, WordPress is getting hacked a lot, you know that, because it's used so often. If you have a system like Shopify, they take care very well of the infrastructure, so it's much harder for hackers to hack it. But the biggest problem I would see, of course, if you have just I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 products, then WooCommerce will be able to handle that very well. If you're going to expand later on and you have got a lot of products, you probably later on will anyways jump to an e-commerce system that would be like a real e-commerce system, like I mentioned, like a Shopify, a Magento or some other system. And this is really now the question, why should you start with the WooCommerce? Just because you are confident using WordPress doesn't mean that you should start your shop system with WooCommerce. It's so easy to set up for like a Shopify store. And the other advantages is, of course, because Shopify is like a shop system, you're going to find hundreds and thousands of plugins like in WordPress that you just install and they will allow you to, do everything basically. So it's very easy to plug in your analytics to get the data. You're going to find plugins to, make upsells, downsells. You're going to have everything that is needed for a real shop system. And I'm a little worried if you start with WooCommerce that you're gonna go to a point where you can't scale it up anymore because you're getting too many products or you're having issues, you want to connect it to some internal system. And there's also things like, think about it, like we in our e-commerce businesses, we run like, I think in a moment, 6 or 7 stores, and we use the same inventory software for all of the stores. So because we're using Shopify, we can connect all our stores to that inventory third-party provider, and this plugin actually makes sure to push the inventory to all of the stores, to push the right prices, to push the right weight, to push the images, push the products, and we are able to scale that up. We are also able to implement different languages, different countries, and so on. So if you have a WooCommerce, most of these professional tools will not have plugins or integrations for WooCommerce because it's not really used professionally. Don't get me wrong, it could be the right choice for you to sell some products using WooCommerce. But really, if you decide that you want to open up an e-commerce store, that you want to make money online, I would really recommend go for Shopify, for example. It's very similar, I would say, to WordPress. It's the same system using plugins and stuff like that. And you will be able to scale up your e-commerce business and make a lot of money. And you don't have to change the system later on if you want to go into another global market or so on. So this is critically important to keep in mind. So my answer, if you should use WooCommerce for your e-commerce store, is actually no. Get a Shopify store and do it there. That's the much better decision. I hope that was useful. And if you watched it on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you watched it on any other platform, LinkedIn, Facebook, or on our website, make sure you find a way to subscribe to our newsletter. I see you tomorrow. Bye bye. See you.